Hello, everyone, and welcome to our special interview today. We have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Atul Chokshi. Both of them are with me and going to talk about the inauguration of the Institute of Spiritual Sciences at the Hindu Samaj Temple that will be inaugurated on September 14th at 10 a.m. All are welcome to join. So why don't you introduce yourselves, gentlemen, and tell our viewers a little bit more about yourselves?
Thank you, Nidhi. As you already mentioned, my name is Dinesh Khosla. I'm a professor of human rights law. I was the founder of City University of New York Law School in 1983. Somewhere around 1995, a conversation began in Bergen County that we needed a temple and a community center for our community. 10 families got together and we dreamt about and brainstormed about as to what our temple would look like in the immediate context and long-term future. We drew inspiration from the Indian culture and considered the Vishwa Kutumba, world as one family, as our starting point. What did it mean for a temple was that we would have multiple modes of worship, multiple manifestations of God, all represented under one roof. And that was the first kind of a consensus that we developed, that we will build a temple of unity. Mm-hmm. The question then came as to what, after we have built the temple, what would the temple do? Would it only focus on prayers and rituals and religious discourses? Or would it have a much larger mission? We were all very young and very enthusiastic about building something very unique for our community. So we came up with 3 bullet points or 3 ideas. And the first one was that it would be a temple of unity, will embrace everyone. Number 2, it will be a temple which will celebrate and preserve our rich heritage. And for that, we would offer classes in art, culture, dance, languages to our students and younger generation.
Wow.
And I am very proud to tell you that before COVID, we had crossed over 400 students in 17 different classes that we offered.
Wow.
Today, after COVID's devastation, we are coming back and we would probably have already started our school this year with about 250 students, and more are enrolling on an ongoing basis. The third aspect of our temple was that we want to prepare our younger generation to be the most exemplary and the finest citizens of this country. Mm-hmm. We believe very strongly and very humbly, even at that time, we believed that this century in America will be defined by very hardworking Indian children who will grow up to be the leaders in this country. Mm-hmm. Our expectations are coming true, and you can see how many leaders of Indian background are in the world of corporations, mm-hmm. the companies in this country, and also seeking political offices on. So we always thought that our investment should be into the future. And the third element of our conception was that we wanted to do seva with Shraddha. Mm-hmm. That there was not going to be any seva in our temple which was based on rewards, which was based on the expectation that there would be something returned. We, all 10 families, believe that karma is much more superior than just doing the puja and prayers, which are very important because it gives us an anchor. True. But karma is the one which actually, when you do that, informed by dharma, God blesses you with hundreds of rewards, which cannot even be counted. Mm-hmm. As we continued to grow, in our 26th year, we started to have a very serious conversation about what is the future of our temple? Where do we take our temple? Mm-hmm. lots of consultations with younger people uh, who felt that integrating all aspects of our temple, all the work that we were doing as seva, as classes, preserving our culture, spirituality, religion, if we could bring everyone together, all the younger children, all the adults, all the older people, if we can bring together in some new dynamic form, so that we can continue to serve the interest of our younger generation, because younger generation is not interested only in puja. They are
Right.
interested in survey. They are interested in learning about spiritual basis of our ancient culture. So, with the help of Dr. Chokshi, who came in our life during COVID and started to teach Gita in our temple through
Right.
Zoom, we were able to continue the services of the temple, even though the temple was shut down. And we found him to be a great, great blessed and a great, great teacher and great leader. And we then sat down with him and we said, Dr. Chokshi, how about if we start an Institute of Spiritual Sciences, and which will focus on excellence in living through spirituality, celebrating our cultural heritage, and encouraging people to be engaged in seva to the community.
How wonderful. Let's come to Dr. Chokshi then.
And I'm now going to hand it over to
Yes.
Dr. Chokshi to take over, and he is going to be our inaugural dean, our founding dean. And we are very,
Congratulations.
very privileged to have him in our circle of friendship and circle of love.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Dr. Chokshi.
Namaste.
Namaste.
As Dinesh ji mentioned, I'm an interventional cardiologist.
Exactly, yeah. So, what inspired you to shift from a medical field to a spiritual field and teaching Gita?
I always had an inclination towards the divinity since a childhood. And I was very impressed by the teachings of Bhagwan Ramakrishna and Vivekananda ji. So that was dormant. And when I came to this country, I became an interventional cardiologist, very busy. And one time I came across Bhagavad Gita in Vivekananda Vidyapit, where I used to take my daughter. I read the preface of Bhagavad Gita by Shankaracharyaji's book, and I was so impressed that it's a gold mine. And the same day I decided that I want to master this scripture. And with a very limited knowledge of Sanskrit, I started the study. And it gave me so much of interest that I used to work like all the doctors work here from early morning to late night. And it was the beginning of practice, so I was very busy. But I found out a method to steal time in those busy schedule. And every day I would prepare one sloka and keep it in front of my vision on the steering wheel. And by the time in the evening, I would know that sloka by heart.
Wow.
So that time I used it so efficiently, and after doing that few slokas, and then oh by God, it started throwing the light on the spiritual mind that Bhagavad Gita is, and I continued that relentlessly. And within 18 months, I knew whole Bhagavad Gita with meaning by heart.
Wow. So you've memorized all 700 verses. What really drew you to this? And it's not easy, like you, as you mentioned, you studied it in Sanskrit, and then to memorize it, to know its meaning. Did you not have any clashes with your work time at when you were doing your medicine, when you were practicing and then focusing? Or does it make you a better cardiologist, because you can focus, you understand things better about life or your craft or your profession?
Yes, it helps in our day-to-day life immensely. And I started in 1991, and I did not leave Gita for one single day since then. So it is almost 33 years since that, since I'm studying and thinking about the teachings of Gita and trying to put it in practice. Once you know the truth, you are going to put it in practice. It's like you have a road map in your pocket. You are not going to get lost. You will refer to the road map. So Bhagavad Gita is a road map, and that helps a great deal. And I found a gold mine. I want to pass it on to others. So that's why we started Zoom classes that we are doing for last 3 years. And
Wow.
various scriptures and whole Bhagavad Gita we have done every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. We are on Zoom. And a lot of people have benefited and have liked it very much. And I'm pretty sure that it benefits people. So that is the out of our question. God says that this is the God's word. These are spiritual truths. There is no rituals at all in Bhagavad Gita. It's all spiritual truths of the highest quality. As long as you're a human being, it is useful to you. It doesn't matter where you come from, what language you speak, doesn't matter.
And it can
Nidhi,
apply to,
And
Nidhi,
Sanskrit,
may I
Sanskrit, I translate every word, so it becomes very easy. That's the way I learned.
so it
So
can apply to any situation one might be in life.
say that again.
If you are, can this Gita shloka, can it apply to any situation, any problem you might be going through, and there will be an answer in one of those 700 verses?
Every situation, Gita is useful. Gita has not left anything unsaid by the Lord. It is the song of God. It is the Creator's manual. It's like you buy a car, a Mercedes, you will, if you have a problem, you will refer to the manual from of Mercedes. You see, so it will tell you how to use Mercedes, how to use all the gadgets, how to take care of it, how to repair it, or problems. So you become very knowledgeable. Same thing with a human life, that God has covered almost everything, and that helps you in day-to-day life. And I have never gotten depressed, never gotten felt sad,
Really?
never got dejected in despite of any situation. And it gave
Nidhi,
me such a path that myself and my friends in 2000, some 100 friends, I motivated everybody and everybody got interested, and we collected funds here and made a first cardiac center in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. That's where I am from.
Wow.
I'm from Gujarat, Ahmedabad. I'm Sudhir Parekh, my classmate and childhood buddy.
Oh,
So we
okay.
used to live on the same street. So we know since the age of 15. So we like good for 50, 60 years.
Long
Nidhi, if I may
association.
join there, Dr. Chokshi, I'm sorry. If I may add something to beautiful sentiments that you expressed to answer Nidhi's question. Is it useful in life? Nidhi, you would be surprised, and your audience would be surprised, that my law school teaching, both my human rights course and my civil disobedience course, which I've done for over 30 years, starts with Bhagavad Gita.
Wow.
And that's the only law school in the entire country, perhaps in the whole world. It builds on the lessons of Bhagavad Gita. And that I was doing even before I knew much about Bhagavad Gita. And then when I met Dr. Chokshi, I said, oh my goodness, I wish he was part of my class and we could have built a very amazing law school curriculum relying on Gita. So it's law, it's life, it's everything, as Dr. Chokshi said very appropriately, that it applies to life. It's not ethereal, it's not distant. It is here, it's right here.
Yes.
So, okay, you must have studied law from India, right? Like, because now I can recall, when there is a person standing on the stand and they have to, आज मैं गीता पे हाथ रख के कसम खाता हूँ, तो was it like a mandatory thing for you to read Gita and to know its importance, so that you make sure, like, anybody who keeps the hand and says, I'm going to say the truth and nothing but the truth, actually does that?
I did not know about that, honestly, at that time, because I was registered as an international lawyer and we didn't have to take any oath. But when I came I taught in India. I was very young when I became a law professor there. And then I came to Yale and I received my PhD in law. And then I became a founding professor of law. That's when I said that there is so much wisdom in our ancient culture. Why don't we try to bring it? And we are now citizens of this country, and therefore we must impact the discourse in this country. And it was a very humble beginning. And I integrated Bhagavad Gita right from day one in my human rights teaching and later in my civil disobedience teaching. And as I said, I wish I had met a mentor like or a teacher like Dr. Chokshi, because my classes would have been much richer.
There is so much of information packed in those 700 verses. And with the profound commentaries that are available from various saints and seekers, so that it clarifies every situation that you might encounter in life.
Coming back to the Institute of Spiritual Sciences that you're helping to establish at the Hindu Samaj Temple, what is your vision for the institute?
Okay, so as I said in the beginning, our younger generation was feeling that they come to the temple, they take the classes, they go home. Dr. Chokshi comes and gives a lecture. Most of the time, the attendees are people of my age, your age, people who are adults. They go home after that. So younger people were saying, we want integration. We want to carry all aspects of our life together and move forward. So what would be happening on the day of inauguration, which is this Saturday at 10 o'clock sharp, from 12:30, and after that lunch would be served, and we'll meet with each other and mingle with each other and learn from each other and get feedback from each other. On that day, the institute, when it is being inaugurated at the Hindu Samaj Temple in Mahwah, there will be a discourse and the blessings from Swamiji, and there will be a discourse from Dr. Chokshi. What happens after that is magical. Our children who have been learning Gita, age group 5 to 7 to 8 or 10, students who have been learning dances in the classes of our temple, our younger parents who have been learning how to sing, they are all going to talk about the spirituality behind the art form, the dance forms, how those have been informed by the spirituality of ancient Indian civilization, and how Bhagavad Gita has impacted the birth of that particular song, how other ancient traditions of India have given us the strength to perform those art forms. So we are going to begin the exploration of spirituality in all art forms. Similarly, there will be a presentation as to all the services that the temple has performed since the day of its inception in 1996, and how it is continuing to evolve into newer services that are needed. For example, 25 years ago, there were lots of cases of housing discrimination, job-related intervention. Our temple intervened on behalf of the people who were being discriminated, and we fought those and we settled those battles. Then came the issues of bullying. Then came the issues of spousal abuse. Then came the issues relating to conflict resolutions within the families. We provided free legal services to help those. Then came issues about access to social services. We provided legal help and counseling for people to get to. Now, as our population is aging, the issues of death and dying, issues of how the transition to the next life, our afterlife, is going to be. We are constantly evolving on the issues of how to fight loneliness that lots of our senior citizens are experiencing. We have already started a program. Senior citizens come to the temple and talk. So we want on that day a integration of what a 4-year or 7-year or 10-year-old young child is experiencing in the temple and what Dr. Chokshi is in the temple. So that would be a day of first level of integration of all various aspects of our temple and its activities. A very beautiful moment, because it will be all anchored at that time in Bhagavad Gita. In December, we will repeat this around the Jayanti celebration. And then we will think about programs at least 2 or 3 or 4 times in every year, which will draw from the traditions of Bhagwan Jain, which will draw from the tradition of other religious entities and religious manifestations that we have in our temple, so that there could be a cross-cultural, cross-religious, manifestation level integration.
Wonderful.
So it's a wonderful beginning, and we encourage and we invite all your audience to come to the temple in Mahwah. Go and visit hindusamajmandir.org. The temple is located in Mahwah Hindu Temple, and they can Google search and find out.
September
We want them to
14th.
come.
September
Come
14th,
with
Saturday.
their families.
One important thing I want to add,
Yes.
that like Dinesh ji said, on this inauguration day, we are fortunate that Swami Yuktatmanandji from Ramakrishna Mission, whom I know very well for last 15 years, he is going to come personally and light the lamp and give a discourse on Bhagavad Gita. I left the subject to his choice, and he chose a very beautiful subject that Bhagavad Gita enriches our life. That's it.
Wonderful.
It is going to make your life, whatever you are doing, better. So that is the first lecture, official one, in our institution by a spiritual giant, Swami Yuktatmanandji, who is a monk for last 40 years.
Wonderful. Lastly, for those who are new to the Gita and may feel overwhelmed by its complexity, what would you suggest that they should begin with?
Okay, so like they have to start like I started. Take up one verse and then go word by word, learn the meaning of it, read the commentary. Then you keep repeating that process on the same day and read it several times. Our research suggests that a human brain needs 16 times repetition before the content gets established in the mind. That is how we learned alphabet. That's how we learned anything in science or in medicine. Cardiology and medical science is not easy. Lot of Latin words there. They were all foreign to us when we went to medical school. But because of practice and spent 5 years, so we learned it. So the same way, you start with one by one. That is the purpose of starting this institution. That we'll hold the hand of a youngster, show him the style, and then they will feel good that, yes, now I know 3 slokas, now I know 5 slokas.
Wonderful.
The journey starts. And that's why I wrote a book called 36 ki Gita. 36 best verses from the Bhagavad Gita. Some 4 years ago, my brother inspired me to write. He said, there's 700, nobody is going to read. So can you make it simple? So we made it simple. And we picked up 36 beautiful verses. That is very simple. You pick up one verse on one day, and from morning till evening, you chant that, you will know it by heart. Next day, you take a second verse. Don't repeat the same thing 6 days from Monday to Saturday. And on Sunday, you revise everything. You have a 6-7 slokas ready.
Wow.
And in 6 weeks, we have 36 slokas. It is called 36 ki Gita. So we will do the workshop at institution. Oh, the people come to know about this gold mine. They get interested. They start. That is what we can do, is to offer everything. I'm retired now. I have all the time, all the enthusiasm, all the energy. It's a divine work. So I have unlimited commitment for this.
Wonderful.
But
Thank
the
you
people have
both.
to come. If
Thank
they
you,
don't
thank you.
come,
Yes,
there can be a gold mine rotting,
absolutely.
You see? So that is what our purpose is. And the journalists like you can put a word properly
Absolutely.
and make it a public issue, so that we have at least a good number of people who get benefit.
Thank you both very much for sharing your incredible journey and insights with us today. We wish you the best for the inauguration of Institute of Spiritual Sciences at the Hindu Samaj Temple. For those interested, the inauguration is on September 14th at 10 a.m. and all are welcome to join. Thank you again, Dr. Chokshi and Mr. Talwar, for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.